All right, this is the Module 3 Mid-Module Assessment Review. Just a reminder that you can skip around on this video and kind of check out the answers as you go. If you need to listen to the explanation, go ahead and do that. But if you don't and just need to check your answers, you can kind of skip around on this video. All right, let's start up at the top. When we are adding like terms, remember like terms are terms with the same letter. So 2x and negative 7x, we're just going to simply add. 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5x. All right, same thing here. We have 12y. We have negative 17y. 12 plus negative 17 is negative 5y. 4x plus negative 9x. Negative 4 plus negative 9 is negative 13x. This one we have 16x and negative 13x. And then negative 3 and positive 10. I like you to rewrite it so that the x's are next to each other. And then you have the non-x's. 16 plus negative 13 is 3. Negative 3 plus 10 is positive 7. So my answer is 3x plus 7. All right, when we're adding two numbers, there's an adding sign in between. Then we don't need to use the parentheses for anything. We can simply combine our like terms. So we have 5x and 8x. We have plus 6 and plus 10. 5x plus 8x is 13x. 6 plus 10 is 16. So my answer is 13x plus 16. All right, same thing here. We're adding, so we just need to combine our like terms. I have 2/5 x plus 4x. So 2/5 x plus 4x. Then I have negative 1 1/4 and negative 3. Oops, that's negative 1 1/4 and negative 3. All right, I'm going to take my calculator to do this. So I'm going to do 2/5 plus 4, which is 4 2/5 x. And I'm going to enter negative 1 1/4 plus negative 3. That gives me negative 4 1/4. This has an x, this does not, so that is my final answer. All right, next one. Now we have a subtraction sign between. This actually does make a difference. So we're going to put a 1 in front of the parentheses, and we're actually going to distribute that. So the 12x plus 9 is not affected by that. So you're going to just rewrite it. Negative 1 times 8x is negative 8x. Negative 1 times negative 8 is positive 8. Now let's circle our like terms. So 12x minus 8x. We have plus 9 plus 8. So 12x plus negative 8x is 4x. 9 plus 18 is 17. So 4x plus 17. All right, let's practice that again. Put a 1 in front so we can distribute. The 1.3x minus 0.5 is not affected by the distributive property. Negative 1 times 2.5x is negative 2.5x. Negative 1 times negative 5.7 is positive 5.7. Let's combine our like terms. We have our two x's and our two non-x's. So 1.3x and negative 2.5x. Negative 0.5, positive 5.7. So I'm going to take my calculator, and 1.3 plus negative 2.5 is negative 1.2x. Negative 0.5 plus 5.7 is 5.2. All right, this is the question that gets everybody tripped up with they forget what factored form means. Factored form means they're giving you the answer and they want you to give me the question. So we did this in class by creating boxes. And we said, okay, one box was 24x and the other one was 60. What is the GCF between the two? And if you look, you could say this is 12. 12 times what gives me 24x? Well, that would be 2x. And 12 times what gives me 60? That would be 5. So my answer is the outside numbers, which is 12 times 2x plus 5. So factoring means it's going backwards and finding the product. All right, let's try that again. So I'm going to do 35C and 21D. My GCF is 7. So that gives me 5C, 3D. So my answer is 7 times 5C plus 3D. All right, let's go to the next page. This is a lot of distributive properties. So we're going to take the number on the outside and we're going to multiply. So negative 5 times 11 is negative 55. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Number 12, 4 times negative 7 is negative 28x. 4 times 6 is 24. All right, this doesn't have distributive property, but this does. So negative 1/5 x is just going to stay there, minus 4. This is negative 2 times 1/6, and we can do that on the calculator. Negative 2 times 1/6 is negative 1/3 x. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. Let's do our like terms. Circles, squares. Put our circles next to each other. Put your squares next to each other. So negative 1/5 plus negative 1/3 is negative 8/15 x. Negative 4 plus 14 is plus 10, positive 10. So there's my answer. All right, number 14, we have 13 times 5x. 13 times 5 is 65x. 13 times negative 2 is negative 26. There's no number over here to distribute, so you're just going to rewrite it. It's not affected. Let's do our circles and squares. So 65x and negative 9x. Negative 26 and positive 24. So 65 minus 9 is 56. Negative 26 positive 24 is negative 2. All right, let's do this again. We're going to take the 2 and distribute to x, so 2x. 2 distribute to 4 is 8. Now be careful. When you distribute this, you're distributing a negative 3. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative times negative is positive. 3 times 2 is 6. So 2x, negative 3x, 8, and 6. I'm just going to rewrite them next to each other. Two plus negative 3 is negative 1x. 8 plus 6 is 14. So my answer is negative 1x plus 14. All right, let's do this again. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. The 3x is not affected. It is not in the parentheses, so we do not distribute to that. Let's combine our like terms. So negative 6x, negative 3x, plus 10. Negative 6 plus negative 3 is negative 9, plus 10. All right, number 17. All right, this is the same thing. You have a number in front of parentheses, so we're going to distribute. So 2/7 times x is 2/7 x. 2/7 times 2, and you can use your calculator for that. 2/7 times 2 is 4/7. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to distribute the positive 1/7 s. So positive 1/7 x plus, because positive times positive, 1/7 times 5 is 5/7. Let's combine like terms. So circles, squares. So 2/7 x plus 1/7 x. 4/7, 5/7. So when I add, I get 3/7 x plus, this would be 9/7 or 1 2/7. Just, I'm sorry, no x, just 1 2/7. All right, number 18, write a linear expression to represent the perimeter. Perimeter means you're adding all the sides up. So let's start with this side, 3x plus 3. We're going to add it to 5x plus 1. We're going to add it to negative 3x plus 2. We're just going to add our like terms. So now we have 3x and 5x and negative 3x. So 3x plus 5x minus 3x. We have plus 3 plus 1 plus 2. Three plus 5 minus 3 is 5x. 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. All right, an equilateral triangle has a side length of x plus 3. Write two expressions that would represent the perimeter. Now remember, perimeter means you're adding all the sides up. I think the best way to do this is to actually draw a picture so you can visualize it. We're going to call the side x plus 3. They're equilateral, so all the sides are the same. So to find the perimeter, you're going to add up all the sides. So you can do x plus 3 plus x plus 3 plus x plus 3. Or, since there's 3 sides, you can just multiply 3 by that. Now, if you want to go one further, this would be 3x's plus 9, if you actually did it. But these are the two that we're really looking for. All right, number 20, it says which expression is equivalent to this? So first thing I notice is there's distributive property, and we can use our calculator. So negative 1/2 times negative 3/2, that gives us 3/4 x. Distribute the negative 1/2 to the 6, so multiply that by 6, you get negative 3x. Distribute it to negative 1, or I'm sorry, positive 1, which would be negative 1/2. The negative 3x is not part of the distributive property. It is not in parentheses, so it just is rewritten there. So let's start adding like terms. Here are my like terms. We have 3/4 x minus 3x minus 3x. So I'm going to enter into my calculator. 3/4 plus negative 3 plus negative 3, which is negative 5 1/4 x, minus 1/2, which is choice D. All right, 21, a triangle has these sides, and it says which expression represents the perimeter. Perimeter means we're adding up all the sides. So let's take 5.5x plus 6.2y. We're going to add it to 4.3x and 8.3y plus 1.6z minus 5.1y. All right, lots of terms here. Let's combine them. So we have x and x. We have y, y, y. Then we have a lone z over here. And I did that wrong, didn't I? Because this is actually a z. So that would be not a lone z. Good thing I caught that before I did the whole problem. Let me make sure. X, Y, X, Z, Z, Y. Okay. All right, so let's put the x's together. 5.5x and 4.3x. I have 6.2y and negative 5.1y. I have positive 8.3z. That's a triangle. And positive 1.6z. So, ready? 5.5 plus 4.3 is 9.8x. 6.2 plus negative 5.1 is 1.1y. And 8.3 plus 1.6 is 9.9z. So let's go over to our answers. The only answer that matches that is choice C. All right, number 22, last question. This question says that we're going to write an equivalent expression by combining like terms. So we're basically simplifying. So I'm just going to rewrite this so it's easier to work with. All right, so 2x is not affected by anything, but we have a 4 in front, and we're going to distribute. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 2y is negative 8y. We have another number in front of parentheses, so let's distribute. 1/4 times 16, you can do that in your calculator if you need to, but it's 4x. 1/4 times negative 8y is negative 2y. Let's add our like terms, 2x, 4x, and 4x. Negative 8y and negative 2y. So 2 plus 4 plus 4, that's 6 plus 4 is 10x. Negative 8 and negative 2 is negative 10y. Now it says express in factored form. Remember, factored form is going backwards. So we're going to take our expression that we have, 10x and 10y, and we're going to pull out the common GCF, which is 10. That means 10 times 1x is 10x, 10 times 1y is 10y. So my answer is 10 times 1x plus 1y. You should be going backwards, putting the GCF factored form on the outside. All right, that's the entire review. You should know that front and back so that when you take this test, you are well prepared. Good luck studying tonight.